Welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast, the only podcast for dance studio owners, where each week we bring you business growth strategies to help you increase your profits, impact the lives of more students, while ensuring you get back some time to have a little life outside of the studio. It's time for you to become the go-to studio in your area. Now, here's your host, founder of the Dance Studio Owners Association, Clint Salter.
Hey, it's Clint, and before we get started, I wanted to tell you about a brand new guide that we've put together for you. 9 simple secrets to creating the perfect studio handbooks that save you hours. Now, this must-have guide is going to teach you how to drastically reduce the amount of questions you receive from parents, students, and teachers, which means you're going to get back hours every single day. In this free guide, I'm going to teach you the 3 must-have handbooks that you need in your studio that are going to save you hours per day. I'm also going to share with you what 93% of studio owners forget to include on the first page of their handbooks that dramatically increases the number of people that read your handbooks. And I'm going to dive into the exact language you should use in your handbooks that gets your studio families paying closer attention. Wouldn't it be great not to receive that, text message at like 10 p.m. at night? Well, that's what I'm giving you in this brand new free guide, 9 simple secrets to creating the perfect studio handbooks that save you hours. All you need to do is text the number 44222 with the word handbook guide. So text the number 44222 and the word handbook guide, all one word. Now, if you're outside of the USA, you can easily go to our website, dancestudioownersassociation.com/free guide. Okay, dancestudioownersassociation.com/free guide to get access to our brand new guide. Now, let's get on with the show. Hey there, dance studio owners. Welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. It's Clint here, and I am very excited that you're joining us for a very special episode. Now, I say it's very special because we have our first returning guest. Yes, that's right. You couldn't get enough of this guest, and I'm so thrilled to be bringing you the amazing award-winning SEO copywriter and SEO consultant. She's also a friend of mine, the amazing Kate Toon. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Kate. She's the founder of the Clever Copywriting School and the Recipe for CEO Success e-course. She co-hosts the Hot Copy podcast and has recently released her book. Please go out and get it. It's a great read. Confessions of a Misfit Entrepreneur. Hello, return guest number 1, Kate Toon. How are you?
Woohoo! I must say, I feel extremely special to be your first ever return guest. Why on earth did you pick me? That's made my week. Thank you.
There you go. Put that on your email signature and put it as a sticker on your website. I'm
going to make myself a badge. Today,
I want a photo of that. Kay, welcome back. We're going to be chatting about all things copy, and I reckon we're going to throw in a bit of entrepreneur stuff as well today, since that's what your recent book is about. And I want to talk about copy because it's something that we've been talking about in the association when it comes to, writing blogs and writing great words on our website and how to describe ourselves. And you know what? The one thing people say to me all the time, our studio owners, is, Clint, I hate writing. I'm not a writer. I have no idea where to start. What do you say to those people?
Well, look, I think, we all have that kind of feeling that we're not good at certain things. And, if you excel in dance, or then maybe you've just made a decision that you can only be good at dance, you can't actually be good at writing as well. But I don't think the two things are mutually exclusive. And to be honest, if you are able to lure people into your classes and engage with them every day, chat to parents, chat to students, you obviously have good communication skills. And it's not too much of a reach to turn those communication skills into writing skills. So my top tip right at the start of the episode is to record yourself talking about your business. So imagine you have a student in front of you or someone who's on the phone and they're ringing up to find more about you and your business. Just record the conversation that you would have, and you will find some diamonds there, some really great sentences that you can then use in your copywriting.
I love this. What kind of questions? Let's say we're about to redo our About Us page on our website, because I know this is a big page that people want to work on, and rarely do they get it right. What are some of the questions that we could be asking ourselves to answer?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of common mistakes people make with about pages are to think that it's really about you, that really this should be your life story on a web page. And the truth is, the About page is often the second most visited page on a website. So it's really important. And it's not really about you. It's about what you can do for the reader. So everything you write, you have to kind of finish the sentence with, so what? So, for example, Clint is an amazing dance studio owner who has X years experience. So what? Why do I care about that? What does that mean to me? Well, it means that he's worked with thousands of different people, he's got a heap of different skills, and that he can pass those on to you. Yeah, so you turn everything that you say about yourself into a benefit for the customer. Another top tip on About pages is to talk in the first person. So often people talk in the third person. So, they're just a small dance studio, but they're sort of saying, they're trying to put a grandiose impression on, like, the tap dancing school has 8,000 students. Just say, we have 8,000 students. Talk like a human. Remember, only one person is reading this page. You're talking to one individual. So talk to them like a human, and talk to them like you would if they rang up on the phone. You wouldn't talk in third person. You wouldn't use long, complicated words. You'd use short sentences, and you really make the benefit clear to them as why you're the school that they should pick.
That's it. We could just finish the interview right there, Kate.
Shall we? Should we just stop?
That's such a great tip, and you're so true. The amount of About Us pages I go to, and it said Edith's Academy of Dance, founded in 1951, was blah blah blah. And it's like, well, we don't talk like that. Right? That's not how we want to relate to our customer. So let's say we do this exercise. We've got our phone. We're kind of recording our answers. And so we've got a whole lot of stuff that we've just spat out. What do we then do with that information to kind of get it into a form that looks good, that reads well on our About Us page?
Well, I think for About Us pages, you can break your copy up into maybe 4 or 5 sections. So, you could have a section on your history. I wouldn't lead with it, but you could have a section on that. Basically, I'd start off with the first section being, something like an overview. So it's like where you are, what you do, and why you do it better than anybody else. In advertising terms, that's known as your USP, or your unique selling proposition. So get that up first. A couple of sentences that describe where you are, what you do, and why you do it better than anyone else. Don't go into too much detail. And then from that, people are engaged, they're interested. So then I think you can start fleshing it out. So you might have said that, you're a school of dance. Well, now maybe you could start covering off the different disciplines that you offer, the different types of classes that you offer. After that, you could maybe talk about the history and how long you've been around and things like that. You could have another header called about facilities and what you have. And yes, of course, all of these may actually be other pages within your site, but your About page is kind of like a summary of all your awesomeness. And what I would highly recommend is if you are the owner of the school, maybe have a separate page, which is your profile, where you can go into detail about everything you've done and your journey and whatever. But up front, just a little picture of you and a couple of lines describing why you're good at what you do and what you can offer your students. Don't go into too much detail on the About page. Let them click through to another page if they really want to read about, how you started out at 13 learning tap. Do you know what I mean? Not everybody's interested in that story. Some people will be, but most people at this early stage, they're kind of at the awareness stage. Maybe they're comparing you with another school. They're not quite sure. They're looking for facts. And they're looking for reassurance. They want to make sure that they're making a good purchase decision. So keep that in mind when you're writing your About page.
Oh, perfect. We could just go off and write it right now. Great tips, Kate. Now, blogging is something that I'm hearing so much about from our studio owners at the moment, which I'm really happy about. But a lot of them are, struggling to really just come up with ideas. What do I write a blog about? I'm a dance studio. People come to me to learn how to dance. what do I write about? I mean, how do we kind of get the idea generation clogs going in our heads?
Well, there's lots of little tools that you can use, and maybe I'll send some through that you can pop in the show notes for the episode. But there's a great little tool on HubSpot which is an idea generator. So there are tools that you can use, but honestly, I think if you sat down with a pen and paper and thought about a few different things, you wouldn't actually find it that hard. You could maybe even pick another member of your group and ask to brainstorm with them. So, for example, things that I blog about are common questions that I get asked. I bet you get asked the same questions again and again and again. That single question can be a whole blog post. You know, what are the essential things to bring to my first dance lesson? You know, yes, you might have a page on your site that covers that up in the FAQs, but it would be quite dry and boring. You can flesh that out into a whole blog post with pictures. You could get quotes from people saying, well, this is what I bought, and I always wish I'd remembered this. You know, that's maybe not a great example, but questions that people ask you, each one of them can be a blog post. The other thing that uniquely you have that a lot of businesses don't have is there is something happening in your business every single week. So lots of businesses, if you're an accountant, nothing happens all week. You know, you just sit there. At the dance studios, you've got lessons. What happened at the tap lesson on Wednesday? Which of your students is doing really well, and could you turn into a profile of that student? Which class do you want to highlight this week? You know, even if you just do a 5-minute interview with a student at the end of a class and just talk about what, you know, their progress, and then get that transcribed. I use rev.com for all my transcriptions, so I record things and then I get them done. That's a blog post. You know, I think people put big expectations on themselves. What does your audience want? They want to see themselves, especially if you have children at your school and they have parents. The parents are going to lap up content about their own children and about their progress. So, you know, I don't think people should overthink it. Answer questions, talk about things that are happening in your environment, and provide useful content. You know, so answer people's questions, deal with their fears. So, you know, how to be a more confident dancer, dancing for introverts. You know, like think about the people that you would like to attract that maybe are not coming to your studio, and write content for them as well, you know. So, yeah, and brainstorming is a great idea. Even if you brainstorm with somebody outside of your business, find your partner and just, you know, force them to just sit there and go, what would you want to know about the studio? And you'll find some gems come out of that experience.
I think it's great. I'm even thinking now we need a post in the association Facebook group and get all of our members kind of brainstorming together, because I think we could come up with a really great list there.
Yeah, you can have. We do something in my copywriting group called we have buddies. So you can have blog buddies, and you just partner each other up, and you both kind of bat ideas around. Because look, again, the other thing to say is that pretty much no idea is original now. Everybody's written every blog post ever about everything. I think there's something like 2 blog posts posted on the internet every second or something. That sounds crazy. But you are bringing your own unique voice. You have your own audience who probably haven't read those other blog posts. So don't let trying to be original stop you, because otherwise you'll never write anything. So
I love that. That's gold right there. Stop trying to be original, because that's what happens, right? And then people put it off, and they don't take action, and they keep thinking and thinking and thinking about it, but never actually doing it.
Yeah, and also, like my son does Taekwondo. That's it's not the same, but he goes to classes.
Yeah.
And the Taekwondo master will just do a simple thing about like five ways to get your child comfortable doing Taekwondo, or a little explanation of the whole outfit and what each thing's called. And you might think that is so obvious. Everyone must know that. But if I was sending my son to a dance class, I don't know any of that. I have no history in dance. All I've watched is So You Think You Can Dance like twice. So I would have so many questions. So don't think that because you know it and a lot of people in your group know it, that your audience naturally does. What your little boring bits and bobs will be fascinating to somebody else.
Your trash is someone else's treasure.
Beautiful. There's the meaning.
Kate, you are the queen of SEO, so I want to ask you about that. I remember back when I had my online magazine, Dance Life, I gave someone about $4,000 to get me to the top of Google, and it didn't happen. And, you know, the days of SEO have certainly evolved and changed. You know, when we hear it now, I mean, what does it actually mean in 2017?
I mean, like, I still think it means the same thing. You want to be found for the things that you do. You want to be found by people who want what you do but don't know that you do it. I think for dance studio owners who most will have a shopfront business, they will have a physical studio. Mm-hmm. It's a lot about local SEO. It's a lot about getting your address out there, making sure that Google connects your business name with that address at every occasion. I think it's about having a Google My Business page and taking the time to add content to that, listing yourself on directories, writing about your local area so that, you know, you are synonymous. If you're in Newtown, that the name of your studio is just synonymous with Newtown. So when someone types in dance studio Newtown, you come up. Because look, at the end of the day, most dance studios are trying to appeal to an audience in their local area. Do you know what I mean? 2 to 5K. I don't know how far people are willing to drive.
Yeah.
So you really need to get that local SEO right. You know, I obviously I'm a member of your group, and people do contact me. You know, some terrible tales about being taken for a ride with SEO. You do need to get good recommendations from people who know how to give a recommendation, because, you know, often people will recommend Bob because he seemed like a nice bloke, but they don't know anything about SEO. So they're not a good person to judge whether Bob did a good job or not. So I think it's about finding somebody you can trust, getting a website built by somebody who understands SEO and at least starts you off on the right path. And then a lot after that is about local SEO and really making sure you have a consistent address and that you write about your local area as much as you can, and maybe form relationships with other businesses in your local area so that they link to you, and get sponsorship from businesses and mention them on your site. All of that will help Google create like a footprint of where you are and what you do.
Awesome. This is great. And so, you know, to be able to achieve the results we want, you know, to be found by more people doesn't mean that we have to spend, you know, thousands of dollars on someone to help us make that happen. No,
I mean, look, obviously I'm a big advocate of DIY SEO. It's something I teach. I have like a lot of low cost things to try and help educate people, and I have a podcast. A lot of it can be done yourself. Obviously, you will not be doing it at the level of an experienced, fantastic SEO person. But the problem is that most of the SEO people out there are not experienced, fantastic SEO people. They've read a few blogs, you know, they've listened to a couple of podcasts, and now they're putting themselves out there as SEO people. And you don't know, because you don't know the questions to ask. You can't call their bluff. So I think it's really important. And I know business owners have so many things to do, but it's really important to just educate yourself a little bit on how SEO works, so that if you do ever decide to pay for it, you can choose it with a slightly more informed mind.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Kate, I know that we're running out of time, and I want you to tell us a little bit about your book, Confessions of a Misfit Entrepreneur. Tell us about it. What's it about?
Well, I guess it's about, you know, things we've just talked about. It's about being a business owner and how damn tough it is to do all the different things and wear all the different hats. And also that we are fed a lot of sort of success stories, you know, follow this formula and you'll win, you'll make $600,000. And, you know, some of them are worth following. Some people, you know, obviously like yourself, have proven that they can do it. You know, they're approachable, they have a methodology and advice. But a lot of the other schemes, especially around marketing, they're all a bit intangible. And I've never done a course. I've never followed the rules. I don't have a business plan. I don't have a team. Clint and I do joke about the fact that I don't have a team. But, you know, I haven't followed the traditional rules that you're supposed to follow. And yet I've been a success on my terms. And I think this is the other thing. The book, lots of people have read the book who said it's almost like a permission slip, that you don't have to have all the things and be fabulously wealthy. You have to try and get to grips with what success means to you, and be satisfied with success on your own terms. Stop comparing yourself to other people and enjoy your business. And just, you can only do what you can do. So just do that and stop worrying about everybody else. I think that's kind of the message of the book.
I love it. I love that. Define your own version of success and then make that a reality. I know it's tricky for a lot of our studio owners. It's a competitive market that the dance studio industry is in at the moment. And so we're continually can be looking sideways and seeing what everyone else is doing and go, well, that's success. Well, that's success, but that's success. And we end up getting on the treadmill and never getting off it. But that's a great piece of advice there, right from Kate. Just, define for yourselves, for your studio, what do you really want? What do you want in your business? What do you want to achieve? What life do you want to live? Kate, you are amazing. No wonder we had you back.
Oh, thank you so much.
Where can our studio owners go? Obviously, firstly, to buy the book. Secondly, to pick up some great tips on writing their SEO.
Well, if you head to www.katetoon.com, you'll find all my links to all my various sites, the book, and also the SEO stuff. And I have a little free group on Facebook that you're more than welcome to join to pick up tips as and when you have time. And I think that's the final thing I'll leave you with. SEO and copywriting is a big thing, but you just chip away at it. Just try and learn one new small thing a week. And, in a year from now, you'll be much more of a pro than you are today.
Awesome. Great final words from the amazing Kate Toon. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Now, before I let you go, I just wanted to remind you again about our free guide, 9 Simple Secrets to Creating the Perfect Studio Handbooks that Save You Hours. Now, all you need to do is text the word handbook guide to 44222. That's text the word handbook guide to 44222 and you'll receive the guide straight away. Now, if you're outside of the US, just go to our website, dancestudioownersassociation.com/free guide. That's dancestudioownersassociation.com/free guide. And we'll shoot that guide across to you in your inbox within minutes. Really, this guide is going to change the way that you communicate inside of your studio, saving you so many hours a week asking those repetitive questions. Okay, have a great day, and I'll see you next week for the podcast. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. For all the resource links from the show and to receive access to our free dance studio growth training, make sure you visit transformmydancestudio.com.